I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Alexander, we mentioned during one of our live streams after the EU Parliament elections that two governments have now called snap elections, a direct result from the EU Parliament elections. Well, maybe Austria is not a direct result, but after the elections, we now have two EU member states that are going to be calling general elections. That is Austria and Greece. Alexander, break down what happened in Austria and then break down what happened in Greece and why we're going to be seeing elections in these two countries.
I mean, Austria is, in a sense, Austria and Greece, we both have snap elections directly after the European Parliament elections. And what is so remarkable is that the conditions in the two countries are so radically different in political terms. In Austria, we had a right-wing, right of centre coalition government. The leader of the dominant party, Sebastian Kurz, who is the chancellor, he is a popular figure in Austria. His party did actually very well in the European Parliament elections. It crushed it. I think it got 35% of the vote. So interestingly enough, did his coalition partner, which is the Austrian Freedom Party. Now, they lost some ground, but the reason they lost ground was because of this extraordinary video that appeared in the German press, which seemed to suggest that they were prepared to take money from a Russian oligarch's niece in order to gain control of some sections of the Austrian media. When this story first came out, we did a video on it on the same day, and we pointed out in that video that it bore all the appearances of a sting. And now it is universally accepted that it was a sting. And the last thing I'm hearing is that this woman that they met, far from being an oligarch's niece, the oligarch in question has denied that he has a niece, but this oligarch, so-called oligarch's niece, it turns out was a Bosnian student who had been paid 7,000 euros to play this role in a villa in Ibiza, which had been set up with cameras and with microphones in order to pull off this thing. Anyway, this video appeared. It forced the resignation of Strache, who was the vice-chancellor, who was the leader of the Freedom Party. And I think it was widely expected that the Freedom Party would do very badly in those elections. In fact, it held on to most of its vote. And yet, despite the fact that these two parties have actually done quite well in the European Parliament elections, the coalition government has collapsed. And this is really bizarre, because the reason it's collapsed is because Kurz used this video to basically end the coalition. And now he's going to go for broke in an election, which I think he expects, or he was hoping to win. But I think what he's going to find is that he has miscalculated, and that the Freedom Party will hold its ground. And that risks either making Austria ungovernable or forcing him into a coalition with the socialists in Austria, who are a party in decline, landing Austria with a centre-left government, which is not what the Austrian people wanted. So, I mean, we have a very, very paradoxical situation in Austria. And
why would the, real quick, Alexander, I'm not understanding, why would the Freedom Party not want to do they wouldn't want to do a coalition with Kurz after, if they hold?
I think they probably would want to do a coalition with Kurz, though I think they must be very, very angry with the way that he responded to the appearance of the video, and basically said, all sorts of rude things about them and about their leaders, and talked about enough is enough, and implied that there was some evidence of corruption there, despite the fact that what we were looking at was clearly, as I said, a very carefully orchestrated sting. But I think they would probably be willing to go into coalition with him. The problem is, after all that he said about the Freedom Party, I'm not sure that Kurz will find it very easy to go into coalition with them. So in a sense, he has blown up his own coalition. Very bizarrely, he's boxed himself in. And by doing that, he has played straight into the hands of whoever it was who was behind this video.
Merkel?
And we don't know. We don't know. I mean, there's lots of speculation. The Freedom Party itself thinks it was various intelligence agencies. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
German intelligence agencies?
It could very well be. I mean, all I would say is somebody spent an awful lot of money to set this up. Not just the 7,000 euros that was paid to this Bosnian student, but, hiring the villa, setting it up with, hidden microphones and video cameras. Apparently, hard drugs were inserted into the alcohol that was given to Strache and his colleague who were there, in order to make them even more, to break down their resistance even further. This was some people have speculated that up to 600,000 euros was spent on this whole operation. So somebody spent an awful lot of money to do this thing. It was done, of course, 2 years ago, but not used until now. And whoever did it, I think must be feeling to themselves, congratulating themselves on a job well done. Because what they've managed to do is they've managed to create dissension in Austria and bring down what all the indications are from the European Parliament elections was a popular and successful government.
So they sat on it for 2 years and waited for the right moment to release it. I mean, this was very well orchestrated.
Well, extremely well orchestrated. And I mean, the fact that it was also published in German, in the German media, does, to my mind, strongly point to the likelihood that there was to a German connection behind this.
Yeah, and Kurz is young. He's 32 years old. I think you're right. He may have made a mistake. He jumped the gun, and he probably should have, whenever they go after you, and you learn this from Donald Trump. When they go after you, don't back down. Don't apologize. Stand your ground and hit back harder at them. But he caved. And I think he's going to, he boxed himself in and he may pay a political price for it.
He may indeed, but the risk is so will Austria, because Austria now finds itself heading towards a government it might not want, bringing together a losing party with a winning party, and at the same time creating instability in Austria where there was no need for it.
Yeah, but you weaken the Orban, Salvini, that whole group, that coalition, you weaken it.
Well, that was the plan. I mean, I've no doubt that whoever was behind this thing, that was their agenda from the outset. The intention was to use this video to, as I said, break up this alliance of Orban, Kurz, Salvini, possibly Kaczynski, that was coming together. And they've achieved that. As I said, they managed to weaken that prospective bloc that was emerging. And, Kurz, through his inexperience, by the way, I agree with your analysis, I think his youth and inexperience and his lack of understanding of how these things are done, and I suspect also his underestimation of the good sense of Austrian voters, fell into that trap.
Yeah, very well put. Now, Greece, Alexander, a different tale, a different side of the spectrum.
A completely different tale here, because what has happened is that here we had a left-wing government, what was originally elected in 2014-15 as a very ultra-left-wing government. I mean, not just socialist, but ultra-socialist. That was going to radical. That was going to change everything in Greece, overthrow the oligarchy, end the bailouts, end austerity, bring socialism. Anyway, it has failed in everything it has undertaken and in everything that it promised to do. And it has staggered on under the enormous weight of the bailouts, which it said it would never agree to, but which it did agree to. It capitulated completely to the EU's demands and ended up accepting a bailout and austerity package even more severe than the one it had previously rejected. And as a result, as anybody who really understands the situation in Greece knows, the country is absolutely in limbo. I should stress that people who think that the economy in Greece is reviving are deluding themselves and are reading the data wrongly. Anyway, this government, which has failed so utterly, was conclusively rejected by the Greek people in the European Parliament elections. And what is now happening is that the new Conservative Party, the party it replaced, the party it called the oligarchical party, the party of the old establishment, is now coming back. And I can't help but say this. Some people won't like it when I say it. I can't help but think that the children have now messed things up, and the adults, perhaps not the best adults, but the adults are coming back to sort out the mess.
Yeah, I mean, estimates say that, the Tsipras government added anywhere around 80 to 100 billion on top of the existing bailout package. So they ended up costing Greece another 100 billion, which is just astonishing. Absolutely astonishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be frank. I was surprised that they did as well in the European Parliament elections as they did. By their own estimation, they did very badly. I think they got, was it 24% of the vote?
I think 22, 23, yeah.
I'm surprised they got as much as that, actually. And I would also say that people in Greece, I know left-wing people in Greece who feel very deeply betrayed by Syriza and by Mr. Tsipras, and feel that their cause has been discredited by the incompetent way in which he managed things in Greece and the completely clownish behavior that he behaved as prime minister, promising to do one thing and ending up doing the opposite, and doing it far worse than the people that he replaced.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And just to sum it up, I would say that Tsipras came in as this radical left anarchist that was going to, just destroy the establishment and burn it all to the ground, and then rebuild this new ultra-left socialist utopia. And it literally took him one evening in Brussels to become a neoliberal, the ultimate neoliberal, model for Europe. I mean, this guy became more neoliberal than Obama, Cameron, Hollande, and Macron combined.
Absolutely. I mean, what he now does is he does exactly what Berlin and Frankfurt and Brussels and, dare I say,
with a smile,
want him to do, with a smile. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, he is the exact opposite of what he told people he would be. And as I said, it's one can laugh at it from a distance, but a lot of people in Greece feel very angry and very betrayed.
A lot of people suffered, absolutely.
And an awful lot of people suffer very, very badly. If you go to Greece, you encounter this everywhere. I mean, he took a bad and very difficult situation in Greece, and he made it far, far worse. As you rightly say, he added, what was it, another 100 billion to the debts that Greece already owed, and which it will never, to be very clear about this, never in the end repay.
Yeah, it'll take them 100 years to get out of this. That's for sure.
Well, exactly.
All right. Well, Alexander, elections coming up in Austria. I'm not sure about the date, but I know that the Greek ones are in a little over a month. So I think those will be the first ones that we're going to see. The fallout from the EU Parliament elections will be general elections in Greece, and then Austria to follow.
Yes.
All right. Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on the subscribe button down below. Click on the notifications bell to make sure you get notifications every time we push out a new video. Visit the Duran shop. Pick up a t-shirt or a polo like what Alexander is wearing. Or you can get a mug like what Alexander is going to show right now.
Yes, an absolutely beautiful mug. I mean, beautiful to drink from, solid, wonderfully made. I mean, this is high quality stuff, and you can see there the symbol of Moscow, which is the old imperial eagle of Byzantium, the double-headed eagle, with St. George slaying the dragon there, and it's a marvelous thing. I should say I got it for my wife.
Yeah, if you go to Moscow, you'll see that crest and that emblem.
Absolutely.
Pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere.
Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'll notice if you go to Moscow and look around, you'll see it.
And if this is high quality stuff, so is the polo I'm wearing, which I mean, as I said, is 100% cotton, fits beautifully, very high quality, enormously comfortable to wear either in hot weather or in cooler weather of the sort that we have now, and with beautiful embroidery there, as you can see. And again, I cannot recommend it too strongly.
All right. Thank you, Alexander. And you can also donate to us on PayPal and on Patreon. The links are in the description box down below. Also, you can follow us on Instagram, @Duran_com, and go to our site, theduran.com, and see the articles that Alexander is linking up to. And also in the description box, you will find a link to our ebook chronicling Brexit, all the way from Theresa May's failed 3 attempts to get a Brexit deal through, up to the rise of Nigel Farage's The Brexit Party. Alexander, you wrote a forward to that book. Real quickly, what do you say in that forward?
Well, not just the forward, because it's all set out clearly in the book how this extraordinary campaign of sabotage of a clear vote made by the British people in a referendum to Brexit, the fact that it has not been carried out because of a Westminster establishment that is determined to prevent it, of the extraordinary treachery of the Prime Minister of the time, Theresa May, who did everything she basically could to sabotage that Brexit by offering a Brexit deal, which was not really Brexit at all, and also the rise of the resistance in the form of the Brexit Party, which we were the first people in the Duran to predict in articles that we wrote way back in 2016, just after the referendum happened. We said then, if there was not a Brexit after a vote like this, there would be a party that would sweep the board, promising to deliver Brexit. And with the Brexit Party, that is what has happened.
All right, and you can get that ebook for $4.99, $4.99. The price of a cup of coffee in London, in the center of London. I believe you can get a cup of coffee for $4.99 in London. A good cup of coffee.
You certainly can.
You
absolutely can.
All right, more. And if if you are a PayPal or Subscribe star, you will have that ebook waiting for you for free. All right, Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, take care.